bum ba bum bum ba bum 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 ba ba bum. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, directed by James Mangold. Now, James Mangold, he gave Logan a perfect send off. Can he do the same with Indiana Jones? Meh. So I kind of like Indiana Jones. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade. Three fantastic movies. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I was in the fourth grade when that movie came out. So I didn't see a lot of the problems or the hate that movie, the flaws it has and the hate that it can bring. I do not hate that movie. I think it's fine. Like, there's parts of it I really enjoy. The CGI gets a little wacky here and there, and there's some silly stuff. There's always been silly stuff in Indiana Jones. I think my biggest problem with that is I always saw Indiana Jones as supernatural, not science fiction. And because aliens I always thought was kind of weird and wacky, but that's just me. But I loved how it ended with the possibility of Shia LaBeouf taking over the helm of Indiana Jones because he's Indiana Jones the third. So that'd make him Indiana Jones. They didn't go that route. Harrison Ford recanted that, and he said, when he dies, the character dies. You know what? Good on him. We'll see if that plays out eventually when he passes. So, in this one, Indiana Jones is looking for the Dial of Destiny. What is it? No. So it starts off in the 40s. So it starts off fantastic, man. CGI is a little wonky here and there, but in general, it's awesome. It's badass. The only problem I had with the flashbacks is that vocally, it's old Harrison Ford doing the voice. They didn't try to like de-age his voice or whatnot. So it looks like, 1982 Harrison Ford, but it sounds like 2023 Harrison Ford. So that's just a very minor complaint that I had that was kind of messing with me here and there. But no, the opening was awesome, and a lot of the chase scenes and action scenes are awesome. Just my biggest thing I was sad of is that they make Indiana Jones sad because he had his happily ever after with Kingdom Crystal Skull. He's got his tenure he's working on. He made professor. He's dean of the college. He married his one true love, and he finds out he has a son. So, with all that being said, it kind of bumbles down to, you need conflict. How do you get conflict in a movie like this? Well, Shia LaBeouf ain't coming back, and Karen Black not coming back. So, they have to do some snipping, so Indiana Jones is just sad and just sad. And they bring in his goddaughter. So the one thing in sequels that annoys me is when for sequels, like, this character who you've seen in that time period actually had a best friend that you never knew about and had a daughter, so he's a godfather. Which, I don't know, it should have just been Sala. Honestly, it should have been Sala's daughter, so his granddaughter, or his goddaughter. Would have worked a little better for me than you could have had Sala more in the movie. And that angered me, man. They teased Sala. That's Sala wanted to come with, and they can go on one last adventure. That never happened. That made me sad. I love Sala. But no, so got the goddaughter, who's not annoying. I don't find her annoying, and she's not like an uber feministic character. Her character's a little annoying because she's mad at Indiana Jones for not stepping up and being like her father when he had a ton of shit he was going through. They have a nice little moment when they're talking about that, but that's her arc. That's her character arc. She's supposed to start out greedy, snotty, kind of like Belloc in a way, just wants to make a profit. And then over the course of the film, understands that the person you're with is important, and so is like the artifact and the history of it. And how she has her own little boy sidekick, kind of like Short Round, and he's not annoying, he's fun. Like, and the action scenes are fun. There's just not a whole lot of hand-to-hand combat punching scenes. I mean, like, Indy throws punches, of course, and like the opening chase sequence where it's the march and shit, and he's slapping Nazis. Like, oh, that's fun, but I don't know. Like, there's no big one-on-one fight scenes that stand out in my mind. Throughout, I mean, I guess the opening train scene, there's a decent one-on-one, but in general, nothing besides that really stood out as a good fight scene. The chase scenes are fun. They're good, and so yeah, so that's like the basic setup is he's looking for the Dial Destiny. And then they explain what the Dial Destiny is. Fissures in time, so it's has to do with time travel, which I thought was a little like, okay, that's science fiction-y. I don't see Indiana Jones as science fiction. I see Indiana Jones as supernatural. That's just me. But other than that, see, I thought they were gonna really fucking jump the gun with the whole time travel thing, because they do time travel. It happens. Is what it is. I thought they were really gonna like fucking start jumping through the like fucking Raiders and Last Crusade and like all this shit to like, is he gonna save Shia LaBeouf? Is he gonna rewrite time? Like, what's going on with all that? He doesn't. Any of that. They go find out the dude who made it, Archidemus. He made it so whoever figures it out specifically comes to this moment in time when he's being sieged and help drive back the Romans or whatever, who's ever attacking him. That's what it comes down to. So that aspect of it I thought was kind of cool. Like, oh, it's for one specific person. Don't get me wrong, if they like legit did all the fucking time travel shit, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of dope. And so besides the voice and not a whole lot of hand-to-hand combat, the villains didn't get a huge gotcha death scene. They just kind of crashed in a plane. I thought that was a little weak, but you know, is what it is. And then when all it works out, you think Indy's gonna sacrifice himself or he's gonna die. He doesn't. And then they go back in time and the portal closes and shit, and then they're wording they are where they need to be. Simple as that. Oh, okay. The fourth complaint. Antonio Banderas is in this movie, but he's barely a fucking character. He's like, oh god, on screen for like 3 minutes and then he dies. I was disappointed by that because I love Antonio Banderas. He does give a moment to the kid that they're with. He teaches him how to swim. That's about it. Yeah. Overall, I liked it. Probably like Kingdom of Crystal Skull a little more just because I love that ending so much. I mean, I get it. Like, Last Crusade, that's how it should have ended. Indy riding into the sunset like fucking Clint Eastwood. That's how it should have ended. But, you know, fucking people love money. That's why they fucking pumped this out. It's weird to fucking see Indiana Jones in the fucking Disney castle. That weirded me out a little, but it's what it is. Yeah, I would give it a solid 3 out of 5.